Hey there YouTube fans, AC Productions here, and today I'm going to be showing you on how to install this front fork brace balance bracket. Now that was a mouthful. This brace bracket actually comes in a few different colors. We got yellow, gray, black, blue, and red. Now if you're wondering where the bracket's actually going to go, it's actually going to go right here in the front, and it's going to replace these little caps that are in front of your shock. So one right here and one right here, and the brace is going to go right across in this area. Alright, so let me show you a little bit about the bracket, and let me show you the tools you're going to need to do this installation. Alright, here is the brace bracket. It's made out of aluminum. As you can hear it just moving around, and the reason this part's loose is because I took out the screw on each side just to make sure that the clamp can actually open up, and if it's not just a stationary kind of clamp where we had to slide the shock tubes through here. But the screws actually do open up, so once you remove the screw here, this clamp actually opens up, but before you do that you have to actually remove the screw so it could completely open up on both sides. So this is how it looks like from the back end. From the front end, this is how it looks like here. And then on the underneath side, you can see where all the screws are holding it in place. Alright, so let's get started. Let me show you the tools that you're going to need to install this fork brace, and I also forgot to mention it does have a little bit of weight to it. Alright, so here's the tools that you're going to need to do this installation. You're going to need a Dremel tool with a cutting wheel, a handle for the 5mm Allen key, 2.5mm Allen key, blue painter's tape, a flashlight so you could see in this area which is kind of dark, and this shop blanket so you're not constantly dirtying up your pants or your knees when working on the floor. Alright, so let's get started and let me show you what to do next. Okay, so first we're going to do is you're going to grab your painter's tape, and you're just going to get a little bit of painter's tape like so, and we're going to mask off this area right over here. Now your reason that we're going to mask this area off over here is because, and you want to make sure that you do a few, not just one piece. Make sure you put, like, I don't know, let's say probably 3 pieces or 4 pieces in this area. Now the reason to do this is because we're going to actually be cutting this plastic piece off. There is no other way of actually removing it. Some people have actually used in the past a heat gun, but I don't recommend a heat gun because you can get the tube very hot where you could actually damage the shock seal. So that's the reason that I don't recommend using a heat gun, and we're going to actually use a Dremel tool. When we start cutting in over here, just, you know, we're going to pick this side and we're going to cut this plastic piece off. So when we cut, you would actually cut to the tape and not to the shock housing itself. Alright, so you want to make sure that you put enough tape on both sides. So make sure you put enough tape on this side and make sure you put enough tape on this other side, so when you do cut, you don't damage your shock tubes. So go ahead and do that. Okay, now that I've already cut the spot, as you could see right about there, here is the cut. Now you can go ahead and remove this plastic piece. So it should come out fairly simple and easy. Just go ahead and pry the 2 pieces apart and take it off. Alright, so there you go. And just go ahead and put it off to the side. Alright, so here we are. Here is this piece. So make sure you remove both ends. As you can see, I already removed that end. Let me zoom in a little bit, or zoom out a little bit for you guys, so you guys can see me remove the other one. So I already made the cut, and just go ahead and remove this as well. Alright, so now that we got both of those pieces off, if you want to see a little bit on how they look, here they are. So here are the 2 pieces that we just removed. So they just made a cut right here so we could just allow it to remove them. And that's the other one. So here they are. So we go ahead and put these off to the side. Alright, so next what we're going to do is we're going to grab our shock brace. Here it is. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to remove these 4 screws. So these 2 here and these 2 here. Go ahead and do that. Okay, after you have that center part removed, I'm going to go ahead and loosen up. We'll pretty much remove this bolt right over here, which is also 5mm. And then if you still have the screw over here, you want to make sure that you just remove only one. You don't have to remove both, just one, so it allows it to move. Okay, now that you actually loosened up the thing right here, you could actually pull it out if you like, and now you could see it's actually a clamp. And now what we're going to do is we're going to clamp this over the shock tube. So let me zoom in over there so you guys could see on how to do so. And you want to make sure that when you put these on, it is going to be, you're going to see this flat piece. You want this piece to face in. And on the other one, here's the other side, you want to make sure that this piece is facing in, because if you put this one on the outside and this piece on the outside, now you're going to be stuck because you're not going to have a place to actually put that center bracket, because now you have the screws facing outward. So you want to make sure that you put them the right way, that they're both facing in towards each other. Alright, hopefully this angle works out for you guys. Alright, so now that we have our bracket right here, let's go ahead and open it up, and let's going to put it around our shock tube here in the top. And just make sure that you're careful. If you want to put some tape over here, you can. That way you don't scrape up your front fender. Alright, so let's go ahead and open this up and then put this bracket right over here. Then once you get it over, make sure that you close the clamp so it could go over the front shock tube. Now if you did my video on how to install these lights down here, having these cables and it will be kind of in the way a little bit, but not unmanageable to actually do it. Alright, so now that we got it somewhat, there we go. Alright, so now that you have it in its place, I know it's kind of hard to see, guys, I'm gonna grab your bolt and we're gonna slide it in through here, through the back. Now let me show you that over here now. So as you can see, there's the bolt that we just put in for this bracket. So right now I'm going to go ahead and we're going to tighten down the bolt, not all the way, but just snug so this part doesn't move. And then what you want to do is you want to do the same thing for the other side. Sorry guys if it's a little difficult to show you on this part, but just like I said, put the bracket in, put the screw from the back, and go ahead and tighten it snug so it doesn't move. If you find it difficult with this top bracket, you can go ahead and remove the screw completely, and then this part will just be just this brace on here, and you could always put the screw in at a later time, but it wasn't too bad with my light here. So the screw is loose. We're gonna go ahead and tighten it once we get the whole brace and everything on there. All right, so now that I got this one in, we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. Open up the clamp and then clamp it around and put that screw in the back. All right guys, getting a little difficult on trying to show you the brackets, but as you can see, there is our first bracket, and then over here is our other bracket. Now like I said, you want to make sure that you tighten on the bolts, but not all the way. You want to be able to maneuver or move the bracket so you could adjust it, meaning that you're able to turn it left and or sideways. So when we put our center bracket that goes on the top, we're able to adjust this part to actually put the bolts in. Okay, so right now we're going to go ahead and do that. So let me see if I can do this with one hand, meaning that I'm holding the camera. No, I'm not holding the camera, but I'm holding the flashlight here so you guys could get a view. As you can see, this is the light. So go ahead, we're going to grab our center bracket right here, and this is directional. You want to make sure that the point is facing towards you and not this way. So let's go ahead and flip this over, and this is the way you want it to be facing when you install it on. Let me put the brace on there, and then we'll see if we could position the screws, because at this point it's going to be a little difficult even for you guys to see when you're actually installing this brace on there. Alright, so once we get it positioned, let me zoom out a little bit, and let me get my the light. I'm actually just gonna put it on my head, see if I could illuminate the area. Might be a little difficult for you guys to see, but let me see what I can do. All right, so there is the brace, and that's as best I can do with illumination. So right now I got the screw right over here, and the camera's kind of in my way, but I kind of wanted to show you the best angle I can for you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop that screw in, and then move the bracket over here. So I'm gonna, now that I got the bolt in, I'm just gonna move the bracket around until the screw actually drops in place. So again guys, this is gonna be a little difficult to kind of capture all this on camera. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now that it fell in place, just go ahead and hand tighten it, or just get it started now that you got it in its spot. So just gonna hand tighten for now as much as I can just to get it in there. Okay, now that we got that part in, now I just want to do the same thing with this other side. Just maneuver the bracket until the center piece falls in the spot. You may have to bring it up or down, but just try to do the best you guys can. Let's see, I'll put the bolt in. So here's the bolt. I'm gonna put it in its spot. Just maneuver it until the screw falls in its place. Ah, there we go. Okay, so now that we got that one in, go ahead and hand tighten it for now. If need be, I'll grab the little bit and just put it on there, and then go ahead and twist it on there. But so far it is looking pretty well. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab my tool. Okay, so you can see that this one's still sticking out, so it's kind of hard to actually tighten it down. So I'm just gonna grab the bit, and then I'm gonna put it on top here, and then just go ahead and hand tighten down the bolt. So once you get this one hand tightened down, now we're gonna go ahead and grab the other two bolts, put the other one behind that one and the other one behind this one, and hand tighten those down for now. Now you could go ahead and tighten down the end bolts of this one. So go ahead and tighten down this bolt in all the way. Go ahead and tighten down that bolt in all the way, and then go ahead and tighten down the rest of these 4 bolts on this center piece right over here. So once you tighten down everything, you could go ahead and put in your screws over here that were loose. Go ahead and tighten down these 2 little bolts here. If you notice that when you put the second screw in here, it's not fitting in all the way, just go ahead and tighten down this one. It should be enough to actually hold down this little shield that goes in front of your shock. As you could see right over here, it's a little thing just like your stock one. It could be that the bolt is not really centered, or it's not aligning right, because when they manufacture these, they didn't take into account that when they expand, it's not going to line up properly. So just having one screw here is just totally fine. Just go ahead and tighten down that little one at the 2.5mm Allen key. So once everything's all nice and tight, I'll show you what to do next. And then again, I also want to show you the tool that I constantly seem to use a lot is this little ratcheting guide, because it is so low profile, and with this one you're actually able to get into these tight areas. I'll have a link in the description below on where I purchased this one. It may not be this exact same one, but at least something similar that would also help you guys. Alright, so now that I've gone ahead and everything's all nice and tight and snug, this is pretty much on how it looks like. I turned off my regular flashlight, so it looks like it seems to capture it better. So it's looking really good. Again, you're not going to be able to see that R3 emblem because it's facing upward, and no one's going to see it. Not even from the top you can even see it. But other than that, it's giving a nice supportive brace between the left and right shock tubes. And now this part, you want to make sure that you have good steering clearance, meaning that if you did my video on how to install these particular style of LED auxiliary lights, don't really bother the lights when you're turning. You want to make sure that you have free movement when turning the steering. So I was going to go ahead and just do that, and let's turn to your left. Make sure there's no binding or any interference when turning the wheel, and let's go ahead and turn it to the other way. All right, so as you can see, there is no binding and it doesn't hit those small lights. But in your case, if it does happen to hit one of these lights, you can actually go ahead and just remove this little shroud cover just by removing these two screws, and therefore you're just left with the bottom bracket. So this part is just, the only thing this part does is just to deflect any debris that may hit the front shocks, and that's pretty much all it really does. So let's turn this all the way back, and there is no binding on both sides. Alright, so that pretty much concludes on how to install this front fork brace. If you guys found this video helpful, please hit that like button. If you haven't yet subscribed, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you guys are up to date with the latest video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and thank you for watching. Remember, I had mentioned about that you're not able to see the R3 logo. Well, actually, I was wrong, and you can. If you look down the sides of the front of your handlebars, as you can see, I'm pointing to it right now with the camera, you can actually see the R3 logo.